Yo, yo.
What up?
What's up, baby?
What's up, everyone? Welcome in. What's up? We got Ace the Kid on the stream today.
Let's
Shout
go.
out. What's up? How we feeling?
I'm feeling good. Feeling great.
Wolf
ready
team.
to chat it up. This market's insane, guys. Look at this pump. Oh my gosh.
Bears fumbled hard.
Bears are dead.
Bears fumbled hard. But welcome in, everyone. We are doing a little midweek market update, as we like to do here at Wolf Financial. And hey, Bears falling hard again. I'm actually watching. Let me take a little short scalp here.
Of course. There's been I don't know. There's been so many opportunities for the Bears to take it. I mean, obviously it doesn't mean we can't, shoot up and get some sort of trade to the downside later tomorrow or like next week or whatever. But market's just continuously showing us strength. And I've had plenty of spots, especially on the higher time frame too. It's not like it's just lower time frame. Had plenty of spots on the higher time frame that we could have, started and initiated the downtrend, and we're just not doing it. We keep respecting all these higher time frame areas and moving higher. So market's feeling good. I love to see it. The only thing I don't like about this imp is the volatility is getting drained out. That's the only thing that I don't like.
VIX is getting crushed. Netflix is flying right now. We're going to take a look at all of it. New highs of day on almost everything right now. First off, let me get my screen thrown up here. Boom, there it is. Big shout out to our friends over at Fire ETFs, Jordan. If you've been on Spaces, you've heard us talk about them a little bit. Go to Fire ETFs, that's with a hyphen in there, .com. You see it down at the bottom of your screen there as well. And check out these, the Fire movement, super interesting. Financial independence, retire early, and these two ETFs are basically created around that entire movement that's out there right now. So FIRS and FIRI. Go to the website, check out the prospectus. Obviously, not a recommendation to buy or sell anything. Do your due diligence. But big shout out to our friends over at Fire ETFs for giving us the opportunity to jump on these live streams. And I'm excited to be on the live stream with you, Jordan. Let's take a look around the market. We just hit Paper Games and be screaming this right now. I'm surprised it's NFP. Why do you think I was shorting?
Yep. We're also coming into the kind of 50% retracement of this giant weekly imbalance we're sitting in. So let's see something there. But yeah. Big shout out to Fire ETFs though. If you guys are in the audience, just add those tickers to your watch list. I know a lot of you guys are, always listening to. We're always talking about new ETFs coming out because we love finding the new ones that are out and putting them on everybody's radar. But just throw them on your watch list and or whatever ETF watch list you guys got going. I know most of you probably have a whole list of them from us. giving you guys all these names. So throw them on the watch list. Keep an eye on them. Do your due diligence. I'm gonna. Oh no!
For sure.
I like that
I wanna
wealth
take a
builder
look.
one.
Oh yeah, dude. Hold on. This wealth builder one, FIRS. Yeah. So it's really interesting. And if you go to the website, scroll down, you can see all the stuff that's in it. I mean, that gold and Bitcoin is in here. Both.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, I love that. I mean, you talk about long-term wealth building. I mean, both of those things just flying lately. But yeah, big shout out to them. I do want to jump into kind of like a market update. I mean, first off, here's just the quick look intraday. There's SPY as well. Look at this, boom, 15-minute, boom, just flying. Look at that, just big move up, consolidate, flag, boom, breakout. Tesla's moving now. Let's go to the daily chart. Take a look at some of this. Let me hide some of the stuff here. I was looking at a few different things. All right, so this right here, you just have some of your basic simple moving averages. 200-day, the 20 days, this green one coming back up, 51's flattening out as well. I think that's very interesting. And then if I like hide these and throw on just like, I know a lot of people are EMA people, so throw on some EMAs. Purple right there is your 9 EMA. Look how far away we are. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's an insane move. And then of
This is
course,
interesting.
you zoom in a little bit and look at what's going on. We got a bullish engulfing after a failed breakdown. Look at this inside day yesterday on SPY, big bullish engulfing 3-bar up here. I mean, it's hard to argue that that doesn't say continuation, but we'll see what happens. Obviously, I do want to take a look around some of the other big names that we talk about all the time. Let's hit the other indices. IWM is green, obviously. Dow is green. Here's VIX we were talking about. You see VIX just new lows.
Wait, is
down to
that
18.
is that
Wow.
18? I thought it said 14 for a second. I was like, oh my gosh, we're really.
Oh no. TLT moving up as well. Rates coming down. I mean, pretty much everything moving in the right direction. Here's the other thing though. Gold. Gold is still moving. We can go back to the daily chart on this one. Gold after a big pullback. Let me go back to these daily or regular SMAs. 50-day right here. Bought up on gold as well. Oil back down, rejecting the 50-day right there. That's interesting. But some of the big names, just look at the intraday moves here. For example, Tesla. I mean, gosh, look at that. I mean, there's my gap fill thing right there. Let me turn that off. But look at that reversal on Tesla. Just filled this overnight gap here. But big turnaround on Tesla, even though it's still red. I mean, look at this. This is just straight up. NVIDIA. Beautiful push on NVIDIA. Netflix is a crazy one. Look at Netflix on the daily, dude.
I know. It's ridiculous.
How crazy is this?
This thing is just running.
See some of our friends in the chat too.
You can see too.
Look at this. Look at this guy.
Who do we got?
This guy in the chat.
Oh, look at this guy. He's in the other room.
What a guy.
Yeah. Let's go.
Our man,
Big
Sam
shout out.
Solid.
Sam Solid. Let's shout out to the boys. Yeah, Netflix is ridiculous. And every time, I mean, obviously we saw that tariff dip. That was like really the last dip, which was a beautiful buying opportunity, especially for a name like Netflix, because it started to dip with the whole market, but obviously didn't take as much of a hit on the tariff news because Netflix wasn't getting as affected by tariffs. But I mean, just look at every time we slow down here, Emp. It's never, even the times when we did get this last pullback that looked kind of nasty, it's all constructive. All we did was go sweep those big daily, weekly range lows, ended up moving higher. And every time we slow down, it's just consolidation to then another leg up. So Netflix is strong.
Yes, it's loved, eh?
It's ES, yeah. NQ just, we're in such a high time frame area for me on like the entire market, in which it's funny on a monthly chart. I'm feeling pretty dang bullish, especially for closing the monthly anywhere up where we're at right now. I'll say it right now. I've said it already on Spaces plenty of times. I do think we're going to all-time highs if we close this monthly strong. But this weekly at the same time is we're in an area where I would like to see the market, get slapped just for a little bit of a rebalance, and then go right back to all-time highs. I don't care. I expect to see something happen here. But again, market structure has not shown me that. I've been waiting for it. If you guys have been in Spaces, you know that. And it's just, we're not getting the price action and the confluence. So I'm keeping off on that. What's up?
We want to look around some of these big names, and then we'll have you throw up some charts as well.
Yeah, I can
get some of your analysis. I do think it's a possible short right here, by the way. We hit 500. on NQ. I mean, here's your first target right here. This 481 area, EMA 9. Maybe you get down here to 66. That's kind of my just targets on this short. I mean, I nailed the short right up here at 502 average. So we'll see if it plays out. Just a little scalpy. Yes, over there. But yeah, looking around, I mean, maybe you get a little pullback here. I mean, it's counter trend right at this point. I mean, looking for a back test, but I mean, God, Netflix, I mean, Microsoft was strong out of the gate. Like while everything else was weak, they were strong. Amazon has been doing some crazy stuff today. I mean, a lot of people like 5-minute charts. I mean, these wicks, look at these.
Yeah,
wicks
nasty.
are crazy.
Just not participating at all. Really, it's just not doing nothing.
Yeah,
today.
Bezos just selling too much, I guess.
Yeah.
There's Apple on a 5-minute. Look at Broadcom, dude. Broadcom just doesn't care. Boom, just straight up.
Yo.
Costco,
Google's not looking as good right here.
Google's a little interesting.
Looking a little more like Amazon right now.
Google, I mean, it popped up hard on the open. There was some kind of like news or something, I think. I don't know what it was. It got rejected at the same spot yesterday, and it's, like, it's doing this while the rest of the market is like the opposite, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting. A couple other things that were moving today. Obviously, Walmart had earnings this morning. Sold off
Favorite
a little
company.
bit. It's making it back. Where we're at right now, it's like whatever. Like, like once you when you have a daily chart or a weekly chart that looks like Walmart's, like you're not that worried about some consolidation, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, that candle actually looks insane on the daily.
And Walmart looks great on
a couple other like big names. I mean, Uber still hanging out up here, not doing a whole lot today. Hims was down pretty bad and it's trying to recover. Hood off the open was down. You saw some of these names getting hit off the open, but the market recovered and some of the names recovered very well, and then some are like still kind of lagging. Like we're not even close to previous day's highs on some of these names. While back on the big cap tech, mega cap tech, I mean, you're over like Nvidia right back up here. Microsoft over previous day highs. Broadcom, look at Broadcom. Gosh,
yeah.
Slow down.
Not expecting that on Broadcom, if I'm being honest. I was not expecting it to get out of that higher time frame consolidation that we've kind of been in and ripped this hard, and now it looks like it wants all-time highs again. So
yeah, dude, Broadcom's a monster. I mean, look at this. This is the point of control right here on the volume area up here. I mean, this right here is what looks insane to me. These little when you have these little V-shaped things. I mean, it's almost.
You remember when the market caught bottom in 2022 and we had all those gaps and everybody's like, oh, we got to fill those gaps, this and that. That's what this looks like to me. It's like all those gaps people probably think need to get filled, and sometimes they just don't. Sometimes they never need to get filled. So it's interesting to see what happens there. Shout out Eva in the chat. Let's go. Eva's in the chat with us. But yeah, crazy name. Gosh. Hey, how much did you buy the dip on in the long term? Like, give me a rough percentage of the cash we implemented. Emp, you're muted.
Well, how about
there you
that?
Are.
I used 2/3 of my cash.
Oh, nice. I should have. I used 1/3.
Look at these gaps on SPY that never filled.
That's what you were marking. Yep. Still to this day.
Right there.
Yep.
These gaps never filled, and this is from 2023, so just 2 years ago. Yep. Those gaps never got filled. Obviously, some of these ended up getting filled. Like this one right here wasn't filled for a long time. It was finally filled, but there's also I remember if you go back to COVID back here. Look at this little guy.
Yeah.
That guy never got filled. Everybody talks about having to fill gaps. Yeah, that never got filled.
COVID was the biggest liquidity sweep you've ever seen in your life, and we just did the same thing on the dip we had in the market.
This daily is, this is absolutely insane.
Yeah. Let it cook again. I mean, this monthly area, I was really expecting, hey, like if the market's going to be extremely bearish, we should be respecting these areas on a monthly chart. We're not. We're running through them, violating them completely. Next spot I have on a monthly chart is going to be those all-time highs. Now, obviously, when you bump down the time frame, there's going to be maybe some spots in between that can get hit. But regardless, I would just listen to the higher time frame and let that tell me the story. So I'm pretty positive on the market, even though I've been looking for. I know in spaces I've been looking for the short like past 2 days, Wednesday and into today. But that's just based off of like how the week's been trading and everything on a higher time frame, on a longer time frame. This is really looking good. And again, if we're closing anywhere above, this is on NQ, not QQQ, but if we're closing anywhere above basically 700 on NQ this month, I think we're doing it back to the all-time highs. But doesn't mean it's going to happen right away. Could take a little bit of time, but I also thought that about the rebalance on this dip, and this is coming a lot faster than I expected. So
yeah,
don't know.
I'm looking at this. You look at this like just basic Fibonacci retrace here from the high here to the low down here, and you see like where we hung out at, and then look, this is the 786. The low of day on SPY today was what? Perfectly. That's why I said 585. Like that's what needs to break to like move down here somewhere. And it held. Failure by the bear. Big fell by the bears. Look at this. Avocados in the chat.
Oh yeah, let's go, baby. There's just been so many spots. Like yesterday, I literally had the prime setup for it. And you guys, if you're on Spaces, you heard me actually. I played long yesterday, and it was simply because I needed to see my model on the hourly, and the higher time frame was just not supporting it. I'm sitting there going, okay, like this is the perfect setup. If we rug through this and I get my setup, I'm going. And we just ended up respecting that area and seeing exactly what I wanted to see to go to the downside in that area to now go to the upside. And I can show a little representation of what I'm talking about.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Toss your screen up, and
here, I'll show you
your screen on the.
Let's see if this works.
In the meantime, you guys definitely got to check out these two tickers on the bottom of your screen.
All right, I think I'm good, Em. There we go. Let's go. All right.
There he is.
So basically, this was me yesterday. Let's go like replay like this. If it'll load. Oh, it loaded. Let's go. Okay, so me yesterday. Oh my gosh. Give me a second. I use FX replay, not TradingView replay. So this
as you're getting that pulled up, look, Jordy, this is the comment that I want to highlight here real fast.
What's that?
I would like to see SPY pull back, 1 to 1.5% red day, because that would be a healthy thing to happen. Yeah, it would be healthy. I think that would make the trading easier. To me, this is hard to be a part of right now because it didn't really pull back for me to get like a decent entry on anything. So now I'm sitting here just watching it go higher with nothing to do, which is fine. I'm fine with doing nothing. But it's sometimes like I fight this middle battle of cheering for what I want to happen versus what the chart's telling me to happen. I think all of us do that to some point, but that's one thing that I've been like, I don't know, fighting with, I guess would be the term, but it's like, hey, I really, I just wish that this setup, that it would play out this way, so I would have like the easy trade. And sometimes it's just doesn't play out that way, and you have to like not let that bias make you take a trade.
Yep, 100%. I put up a new screen, so there we go, perfect. But yeah, I mean, essentially what you're saying is exactly what happened to me yesterday, right? I know. Like I had this area, we have this weekly, this is a giant weekly bearish for value gap that we ended up tapping into for the first time. We have March highs sitting here. So this is coming into yesterday on an hourly chart, right? Wednesday here. We ended up taking these highs on NQ, and we didn't take those highs on ES at the time. We have now, but at the time, this is what it was looking like, right? So for me, going into tomorrow morning, this is 7 o'clock yesterday morning. I was thinking, okay, cool. We have this setup here. We've distributed all the way to bullish target. Great. This was my target for the entire week. And no surprise that now we're going sideways around this area, but we're getting some moves above it, which I wasn't really expecting, to be honest. I was expecting to see this accumulation and then see some sort of manipulation, which is this move here to go lower. But the confirmation of this move, that's what the whole thing is for me. What's the confirmation? Well, the confirmation is going to be this. I need to see, where's my drawings? I don't have them, whatever. What I need to see here is this hourly order flow, because this is an hourly for value gap. I need to see hourly order flow after tapping into the weekly bearish for value gap, where I expect price to be manipulated and go lower. This was also going in line with my thoughts on Wednesday reversal at the time. That's invalidated now. But at the time, everything's lining up, right? We're tapping into an area where I expect the market to be manipulated, go lower. We took those March highs. Everything's lining up. All I need to see is order flow get disrespected on a higher time frame. And for me, an extra point of confluence which I use is a change in the state of delivery, which is just a series of up close candles that swept liquidity that gets closed below, or a series of down close candles that swept liquidity that gets closed above, right? And so that would be my tapping. But unfortunately, what did the market do? The market never actually did that. Right, the market this next hour, that's going into the open, and then we have 10 o'clock, which is when I actually took my trade. Basically, into these times of the morning, we were respecting this order flow, right? Nothing was being disrespected. Look at these candles. We were respecting order flow. If we were disrespecting it, this candle would have closed below. But the fact that candle wicks do the damage, bodies tell the narrative, right? The fact that didn't happen, I was like, okay, I have to think long. Because I know I'm big bad short, right? Big bad bear. But if we're respecting order flow on a high time frame, it doesn't matter what bias I have. The market is telling me that things are still bullish on a higher time frame. And if we're respecting order flow here and there's no other order flow in between us, where should we go? The highs. No, zero doubt the highs, right? And so that's why yesterday I ended up bumping down the time frame into 10 o'clock. I noticed we weren't running through the areas we needed to and we're respecting, and that's why I ended up playing long, right? But you can see, I mean, that was a perfect representation of what you were saying, Emp, is I had my thoughts going into the day. I wanted to see this, but it doesn't matter what I want to see. It matters what the market's doing now, right? And 10 o'clock is my prime time. That's when I'm always taking the trades, and it matters what's happening right then and there. And at that time, we're respecting order flow on a higher time frame, and the model set up on the lower time frame for me, right? So just a perfect representation of being forced to, hey, I have these thoughts, but the market's telling me this, so I have to change my thoughts accordingly and just be adaptable. You know, that's the name of the game in the market. So just some thoughts there.
I'll add one thing to that. You said something in there that I think is really important, is when you create a thesis, you have to have an invalidation point, right? And when it validates you, that doesn't mean you immediately like flip the other direction. I mean, you can. Some people do that and do it very well, but sometimes it just means like just wait for the next thesis to get created, wait for the next setup, right? So like whenever you analyze something and you say, okay, I think this because of A, B, and C, but you have to have that like X point where, okay, but if this happens, then everything's invalidated, right? I think that's a very important point to make that you hinted at there.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's just, it's necessary, because I know how it is. I'm always looking for, like, going into the morning, I'm like, oh, I want to see this if I'm going to be bearish. I want to see this if I'm going to be bullish, this or that. But when it's that prime trading time going into 10 o'clock, it doesn't matter what my preconceived thoughts really were. It matters, what are we doing right now? And what is the data? What is the market showing me? Right? Because the market is constantly speaking to us. It's just, sometimes it's in a language we can't really understand. Right. And that's what I'm trying to get good at, right? Is just understand exactly, like, I've gotten really good at understanding when to stay out of the market, right? When we're just disrespecting areas, constantly running through bullish gaps and running through bearish gaps, and it's an unfavorable environment. And then when we're, trending in one direction and really respecting areas on one side, right? And that just goes right along with aligning timeframes, which I've been talking about a lot. And I just think, guys, if you're in the audience and you're not aligning things together, I mean, don't get me wrong, you can still catch great trades. I'm not going to say you can't. You can still catch great trades, but we want to print money, don't we? Right? We want to make some big moves, and so
we want to make consistent money.
Yeah, in my opinion, you're to hit big moves in the market, you got to be aligning time frames. So love to be doing that. You got any thoughts on that, Em? I'm curious. How much are you like kind of doing that, or are you just like relying on your scalps back and forth?
No, I think I'm in between a scalper and like I'm more of a directional trader. I'll take a scalp every once in a while if the setup like is there for me. But for me, like I kind of have like a general thesis, general directional picture, and I look for confluence to trade that way. And if it's not there, then I kind of just sit on the sidelines and wait.
Yeah.
I don't like to get involved. Like if I've missed out on a move, and like today, once it got going completely, over everything and getting to that gap fill, I was just dead in the water as far as how I trade. But you know, I'll take 2 or 3 shots at it some days, and what I have to say it depends. Like I don't know. Um, for me, like if I have something that I'm seeing that I really like, as far as like a trade setup and a directional setup, and I have several things in my favor, maybe I take 2 or 3 shots trying to get into it
Hmm.
because I can handle that. But once a move starts already happening, if I'm not in on it, I usually get stuck just on the sideline for hours waiting
Yeah.
for the next setup to give itself to me.
Yeah, I get that. 100%. It's funny too. Just what I was explaining with that hourly, the hourly pieces I was just talking about. It's funny. This morning, we actually ran through those areas, right? So this was that same area we kept holding yesterday. We ran through this morning. That's why I was initially thinking bearish. But what I failed to understand was, Jordan, look left. And what are we actually doing? Well, what we're actually doing is we just dipped into an untapped 4-hour gap that needed to be rebalanced to. And we actually got a beautiful setup at like 5 a.m. this morning Eastern. It was a beautiful reversal setup to go right back to these highs. And the real confirmation of that happening was this morning. Again, if we're extremely bearish, we should hold bearish order flow. It's as simple as that. Like literally, it's as simple as that. If we're extremely bearish, we should hold this. We shouldn't run through it. What did price do? Tried to hold it, right? Candle bodies or candle wicks did the damage. Bodies told the narrative, right? They were holding. And then one candle changed the story. One candle, this closes above, showing us that order flow is still holding bullish. We tried to run through it. Doesn't matter. We rebalanced to order flow that had never been tapped into. We ended up ripping back up, and now we're running back through this. Where can we possibly go if order flow's extremely bullish here and there's no other gaps in between the highs? We're going to the highs, right? And so for me, that was simple this morning. I actually went on tilt a little bit this morning. Most of you probably saw my Twitter post. Not too bad of a loss, actually, compared to the normal losses. It was about a little over double what my normal losses were on a normal day. So definitely like more than what I'm comfortable with, and that should never happen again, or very, very rarely. But it was a little bit of a mistake. We're all human. We go through it. But at the end of the day, it was funny. I switched my bias as soon as we were running through this hourly, and I'm like, no, we got to be bullish to Asia highs. I was right, but I ended up not taking a precise enough entry and being a little antsy and trying to get in too quick. And I ended up getting stopped out and watching this thing run to my TV. So it happens here and there, unfortunately. You got to deal with it. But again, it's just being able to adapt. And like, I'm thinking, okay, I know we're trying to start this bearish trend. We're in an area where I expect it to happen. But the market's clearly telling me that order flow is changing and we're going to continue to respect. And so that's where it's trying to keep it as simple as possible on that higher time frame. And then the problem is getting those precise entries on a lower time frame. You really got to be patient. You really got to be good at that. And I've been doing good in the past, but this today and yesterday not as good. Even though yesterday was a great trade, could have made so much more. Yeah, could have made so much more if a better risk
have those
reward.
days. As a trader, the moment you stop thinking about how much you could have made is when you'll start like flipping that mindset. You'll have a much healthier outlook of stuff.
I agree.
Because I can't tell you how many people fall into that mental trap. Oh, I should have held this longer. Well, you look at it something 3 times. Like let's say you take 3 trades and you look back and say, oh, I could have held this longer. I could have made more here or this or that. And then what happens is you you let that affect and drift into your next trade. And your next trade, maybe you hold it too long and you don't lock in the profit. Like you start to get you let your emotions dictate your decisions. Like I honestly never look back. I'll review trades, but like I'll never look back and see how much I could have made. I'll look back at setups. I'll look back at where did this go right, where did this go wrong, and I leave like the dollar amount stuff out of it completely. That's helped me a ton.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Just
for
like
me,
I
it's
mean, I had
never
Nvidia
about.
calls, dude. I had
Yeah.
Nvidia calls coming into this week, 120s
Yeah.
and they didn't expire till next week, but they were up very nicely. I got almost a lucky. I mean, I had good confidence for the trade, but I got news came out right after it, and then we had the good news over the weekend. So I
Mhm.
sold those for great profit, right? And then of course, like the next day, Nvidia goes up another like 6%. And it's just like I didn't even look back to see. Didn't even look back to see
It's
what
not
they were
worth it.
worth.
The only thing I
No,
look
it's the whole
back
point.
is I journal every single trade I take, and I'll take a screenshot of like, the actual setup itself. But I'm never going back and looking like, oh, I could have held longer for this. Of course, I'm always looking for ways to improve, but it's never about, oh, I could have made an extra $1,000 on this trade. Thinking back, it's always, no, I could have done this to improve. But yeah, as soon as you keep thinking about that, as soon as you remove that dollar amount from your head and just remove the outcome completely and just trade the process and trade your plan correctly, like things change completely. We were talking about this last night, as well as just having like other sources of income as well. It makes trading easier, guys. It makes life easier because you're not sitting here going, oh my gosh, like I have to make this trade work. You're just playing your process. When opportunities come, you're putting risk on accordingly, and you're just trading, right? That's our job, is just to trade and be analysts. We're not supposed to get so extremely emotionally invested into everything, right? Our job is to just trade the setups we have, trade our plan, nothing more, nothing less, right? And so that's the name of the game, and it's beautiful. Just the second you start focusing on the process and actually get satisfaction from like trading good and making good decisions versus making a bunch of money, I feel like that's when trading really changes for people. It did for me. So,
well, the worst thing that can happen is getting a taste of success on something that should not have given you success, like a risky trade.
this is the
Like
worst.
honestly, there was a point where like every risky trade that I took was not working out, and I was like, why am I doing this? Like I started looking back and going, okay, all the good trades I was taking are working out. Like in the like course of that, I was making really good money on that. And then I was looking and I was like, but every time I like have taken a loser lately, it's been just a dumb trade. Like I'll be up very nicely on the day and then I'll give back profit for no reason, taking risky trades. And then there was a period of time where like I was getting rewarded for those risky trades or whatever. And like that made me want to take more of them. And it was, I don't know, I finally got away from that. And once I got away from that, kind of like what I've watched you grow into, I went through like a very similar process myself. And that's where I finally found consistency. I mean, that's why I was able to do 30 days in a row of $200+ on one account. Like, I mean, that's where I finally found that. We are finally getting a town candle, believe it or not, in this market. Not a big one.
Yeah, we are. Let's see where we're tapping into, actually. When we took those highs, we're just not much. We're in this weekly PD array. About daily. Yeah, I mean, we got these highs we can go take if they want to, and then we have, within this weekly, we have this spot that has been untapped. Prices never traded into here. It's an area in which you can expect manipulation to maybe go lower. And again, I'm not trying to sound like big bad bear. I'm quite bullish on this market, guys, especially on a higher time frame. I really am. It's just, again, out of this area, if I want to be a good trader and trade the model that I trade correctly, I have to expect certain things on a higher time frame, rebalancing to these areas. Now, it doesn't mean I just blindly go short on a higher time frame, nothing like that, but I can't sit here and be like, oh, for sure, like we're just going to keep ripping. We've gone farther than the target I had for the entire week, right? So, and really, again, ever since we actually hit that target, I'm not exactly seeing the amount of strength I'd want to see to be like, oh my gosh, we're going to keep continuing. Because to me, so far,
well, that's my thing. It's like, what do we do now? Now
That's
that
the thing.
we didn't fail and we pushed higher, but now what do we do? Because
Yeah.
I mean, you
Even with
have
this
to
move
like
up,
be bullish, but how do you set a risk reward up here is my problem.
even
Like
with this
what do
move up,
I?
it's too much. I can't.
I mean, if we somehow base on top of like the last 2 days or so, the highs, like especially on SPY or ES, like if you look at ES at 930, 920s, if we like base on top of that, 920 to 925, maybe you can long off of that. But like for me, that's even a tough. I don't know. I feel like that's a tough thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is the most clarity I have on the market right now. Is again, the market's paper will tell you guys this all day long. The market moves in 3 different ways.
You already checked that restream chat too.
Oh yeah, I got you. Market is moving in accumulation, manipulation, and distribution constantly. There's only 3 ways the market's moving. And so, well, what do we see here? We had massive distribution up to the weekly target I had, March high, as well as the weekly PD array we have, a weekly fair value gap. But we don't just expect the market to go up and then straight down. We have to accumulate, manipulate, distribute. That's how the market moves. And so with this, what do we see? Distribution all the way to target. Bulls, to me, most of them would be taking profits at this area. Now what do we see? Sideways price action on a higher time frame, hourly, right? Just consolidation completely. This is accumulation. Right now, here's where it gets tricky for me here on this precise opportunity is technically this is manipulation to the downside to now distribute higher. But I also think since we're trading in this weekly bearish area that we're getting into a spot where I'm confident we are going to get a nice pullback. Whether I'm wrong or not, we'll find out. And that's fine if I'm wrong. I don't mind. But I need to play this way from the beginning and then let the market tell me and give me more confirmation on what it wants to do. And I mean, the most clarity I have is this is accumulation. This is why I don't care about this up move so much right now, because I think this is all manipulation of price to then go lower as of now. Now, if the market wants to tell me different, I'll change my thoughts. It's not a problem at all. But if I'm being a good trader, following my model, and we're tapping into these areas on a higher time frame, and we're seeing this type of higher time frame price action, I have to think that this is a manipulation leg to then bring distribution to the downside. But we'll know if I'm right pretty quick into tomorrow, I think, on a higher time frame. But yeah, just keeping it simple like that. If you guys can always understand, like that's what the way the market's moving, and then if you can truly identify that within the charts, again, it's happening on every time frame. If you can do that, align time frames, life gets better. I'm telling you, life gets a lot better. So I hope that makes sense. I hope it's not too complicated for people. I hope it makes sense. But let me grab my phone real quick. Oh,
I do want to take it here. I'm gonna throw my screen up here.
Yeah,
so
go
I'm gonna
for
take
it.
a look
There.
at a couple things. You're good. I'll throw it up. There, boom. Once again, big shout out to the Fire ETFs team. You know, we're doing a lot of work with them, and boy, the Fire movement actually kind of really caught my attention. And you know, we've had some people on spaces, and you know, I'm lucky that I'm the one that gets to host a lot of these spaces, and then obviously you're hosting a lot as well. But between our normal spaces, stocks on space and stuff, I'm lucky to talk to a lot of smart people that have successfully done this. The financial independence, retire early, and the fact that we now have professional traders building these ETFs that work towards achieving this process, right? I just think it's super interesting. So big shout out to the Fire ETFs team. We appreciate them. Go to the fireetfs.com to start reading through some of this stuff. It's really interesting. You know, I don't know about you, Jordy. I'm hoping to have financial independence and be able to retire whenever I want. That is one of my major goals. I mean, I feel like everyone would want that, but what are you actually doing to make that happen? And so that's why I've started reading into this. I'm listening to smart people, asking questions on spaces, and then when it comes to the strategies themselves, having some professional, like, I mean, we're talking top of the line professional traders build out some ETFs. So I just think it's very interesting. Not a recommendation to buy, of course. Just go to the website, check out the prospectus. Another thing I wanted to look at, earnings this week. Shout out to our friends over at Earnings Hub. We did have Walmart and Baba this morning, as well as John Deere. John Deere was absolutely flying today, by the way. I know some people watch AMAT. Kava's a big FinTwit popular name, I guess we should say. Our friend Stock Sniper and several others are big Kava fans. So they'll be reporting this afternoon, but a little bit slower this week. We're finally through the bulk of earnings season, but next week, looking ahead, Pan W. I think I have some Palo Alto, Snow, Home Depot, Lowe's. So there's still some big names coming, and then of course 2 weeks away, the granddaddy of them all.
Oh yeah,
NVIDIA.
Let's go, baby.
But shout out to our friends at Earnings Hub. Just kind of looking through what we've got, but it's fairly quiet into the next 2 weeks up until NVIDIA. Economic calendar today, we had a lot of things this morning. Obviously, we'll scroll back up here and look at some of this. I know it's probably tiny on your screens, but can I make this? I can make this a little bit bigger.
Yeah, we can see it. I think it's good.
Whatever, close enough. But yeah, we had all kinds of the Philly Fed data this morning. We had PPI. Where's PPI? Right up here at the very top. PPI coming in negative. Previous was at 0. Our consensus was 0.2. We came in negative too, which was very interesting that we surprised that far to the downside. So that caught my attention. I thought that was very interesting. We had jobless claims as well. We had consumer. We had retail sales. Retail sales numbers came out this morning as well, which were pretty much in line year over year. Not too bad. They're a little bit below. I don't know. It's interesting as all this tariff stuff where we're at. I think it's very, very interesting. So that's kind of where we're at tomorrow. Just to put this on everyone's radar, tomorrow morning, Michigan consumer after the market's open, so 10 a.m. tomorrow. This is the preliminary one too, and this one does move the market. If any of you have traded, especially if you're a futures trader, intraday trader, you'll know that when the Michigan consumer sentiment data comes out, the market reacts to it. For some reason or another, it cares about that one as much as almost any of the Michigan Fed or the Philly Fed or Dallas Fed or whatever. This is one that actually does move the market pretty well, and being the preliminary one, the first version that's released. After that, usually we get like a couple of updates or whatever. So keep that on your radar for tomorrow. Another thing big, the news, well, obviously there's only one person. Hey, look, there we are. Check us out. Now, the other thing is our friend Evan, Stock Market News. Of course, I'm just going to go back through some of the stuff from this morning that I want everyone to make sure they're aware of that was happening. He reposted a lot, so let's check out. All right. President Trump this morning had a little problem with Apple CEO Tim Cook yesterday. I don't want you building in India. That was interesting as we're working out a deal with India right now, hopefully, on that end of things. Alibaba reported earnings. It was down a little bit. I think it's recovered some. Where is Baba?
Oh.
It's still sitting at the lows, 8% down. The last time I looked, we were trying to recover, so I haven't looked since about 11:45. So, yeah, Alibaba reported this morning. Walmart reported it was up big in pre-market, fell back down, and has just been like in this algo grind back towards the upside. I mean, pretty much recovering everything, just down 30 cents on the day. So I'll take that. Can't be mad about that.
No.
The preliminary agreement with the Arab Emirates to allow it to import 500,000 of NVIDIA's most advanced AI chips. So that was some of the other stuff. The AI, this entire kind of Middle East tour that Trump is on right now has been a lot of AI.
Well, how many hands did he shake yesterday?
Bro, did you see that video? I'm not kidding.
Oh my God.
Did you watch this?
Dude, I didn't watch the whole thing. No.
Oh, dude, this was absolutely crazy to me. Hold on.
Ridiculous.
I wonder.
NVIDIA earnings are 2 weeks from now. Not next week, the week after. You can see all that on Earnings Hub too, guys. My cautious market.
Yeah. Hold on.
You're good. Oh, yeah. Who's holding UNH? Huh? This is poor.
I don't even know if this was the video.
Oh,
it wasn't.
Why? Let you have it up. Let me see.
I was trying to find it. No, it's not this.
Of them shaking all. Yeah. It's got to be like an hour and a half long. Jeez. Do you have data set on when Asia and London are clean New York consolidations? Do you have data for that from Edgeful? Can you get data on London and Asia consolidation sessions or something?
I don't know. There's a lot of data that's around like what do you call it? Like if like Asia's green or London's green, like your probabilities.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I found it. Hold
Let's go.
on.
He found it. Ooh.
I think I found it.
Let's go. Everything's holding up pretty good though. I'm anticipating probably a little at least consolidation into close, if not maybe a little move down, but I wouldn't expect it to be the full-blown reversal. I don't think that's coming until tomorrow if it's going to come. What is that?
Sometimes the music track does that when it flips over.
Cooked. Restream. Come on.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? There we go.
Sorry, we can go to chill hop instead.
Yeah, you're good.
Go chill hop.
Ah. Yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow though. We'll see what the market has to offer. FAFO Friday. Maybe I have to expect it. This is just me following my model now. The market can do whatever it wants to, and I have to adapt with the market. But I mean, we have been straight up the whole week from Monday to today. It's been all green days. I have to expect that Friday is a pullback to some of these ranges, one of the previous day lows. Like I have to expect that. So you know my thoughts going into tomorrow, everybody. Doesn't matter how we close. Like today, I have to think that way with the way we've been moving up and into this area in which I still expect manipulation. But again, if 10 o'clock rolls around tomorrow morning, we're dipping into bullish gaps and we're respecting them, and I get a set up to the upside, I'm playing long. It's fine, no worries. But I have to think the other way. But again, no matter what, you manage risk. And I mean, I'm not just blindly taking shots. You got to wait for structure and actual entry models.
Look at this.
Oh, let me see. No way, bro.
I'll tell you, I was watching this yesterday because the market was dead anyway, right? I was watching this yesterday.
He legit stood there for what, an hour?
So I'm serious. So look at the timestamps on this. Like, this is a 10-minute jump ahead here. Another 5 minutes ahead.
Oh my gosh.
Another 5 minutes ahead.
I'd be done.
I'm telling you, dude, my hand was cramping just watching this. Look at this. This is 30 minutes in.
This is ridiculous.
And some people, he shook their hand like 2-3 times during the conversation. Look, here's another one. This is literally what I watched for like it was 40-something minutes. I know for sure that I watched that yesterday.
That's too funny. Oh my gosh. Trump probably shook 50,000 hands this week, bro.
Boy, it was
That's
crazy.
Insane. That's actually crazy. I'd be fed up and done with him if I was him. I would be over.
We're gonna start doing this stream like once a week, by the way, guys. Like today, I mean, Big Ripper, kind of a weird spot that we're at. We're gonna jump into some like deeper conversations. I mean, for me right now, it's like, what the hell do you do? Honestly, that's what I'm thinking where we're at here. But right at 5.90, I mean, the daily chart is just crazy to me.
Oh yeah, daily's wild. I get, that's what I was saying right now. It's just we've been straight up now. We are making daily.
The problem is I have all this. You have all this like over here to deal with. Because if you look back, like what's the like here's monthly candles, right? Which this is fantastic, but like this, if you kind of make a box out of this area right here, that's what we're running into. And QQQ is kind of the same. I mean, QQQ is over it.
Yeah. I guess for me,
as long as QQQ holds over this right here,
yeah,
I mean, I think it looks fantastic. I mean, look at this, dude.
That's
Look
what
at
I'm with
monthly
you.
gap. I wonder if I wonder if we don't fill this gap on the monthly. I mean,
We will not fill that gap if we close the monthly over the imbalance that I've been talking about.
no, it may take until July.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to go take the highs first, in my opinion.
We probably do something like this, right?
Again, it's just like that. If you were to mark out that box, you don't have to, but like literally from that green, that monthly imbalance there, it's if we're closing over that, I get you though. You're saying we have all this to the left for sure, but I don't even think you have to worry about it from a higher time frame perspective. If we're running through these areas by the close of the month, I really think it's not something to worry about.
You see this area right here on the weekly. We're at a huge spot on the weekly.
Yeah.
But if we run through this right here, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think it's going to take a while to get there, just because we are super like overcooked right now. So like a couple things that I look at. I clicked on this right here. Let me go back to like a daily chart, for example. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on two things here. Nope. That one. Okay. This is a 20 simple moving average, and this is a daily 9 EMA. If you look, anytime that we get this, we never get this extended from. I mean, look at that. During the COVID recovery, we hit like 8 to 10% was like the most we hit, and that was a violent recovery. This is similar, but anytime you get this overextended, you do one of two things. I mean, it's the same thing. Look at SPY. I mean, and the thing is, like, even if you go back and you look like here at this point, from here down to your daily 9 EMA, it's like a 3%, extension. And I mean, here we were at basically 3%. We started slowing down, right? We caught up a little bit, but we're still right at 2.5%, 3%. Like, it's just, it never gets that far. I mean, and like when it gets really far away from it, it also snaps back to it. But like, I'm trying to remember, let's see, the last time here, this was in 2023. You see how like far we got away from it down here? We got this far away from it, we kind of snap back to it, right? I mean, I think that's coming at some point, but timing, it's incredibly difficult. If anything, you wait for that as a trigger to buy the dip.
Yeah, I agree.
Look at like right here. You get super extended away from a daily 9 EMA right here, and then you work your way back down towards it.
Yep.
It's just how it works. I mean, especially the 20-day. I mean, if you're bored and you're not doing much trading, you definitely want to go look at like a daily 9 EMA or a daily 20 simple moving average, and just look at how far you get to one side or the other. You usually revert back to the mean, right? That rubber band stretched too far one way or the other. That pendulum swung out one way, it swings back the other way, and then it starts to find its level. That's why I just think like with what we're doing here, the pendulum that I'm talking about swung super hard this way, it swung super hard back, and it's gonna probably do something like if I had to guess, it's gonna do something like this and start to kind of, like when you throw a rock in the water, it makes like a wave, and the wave like splashes, and then it just kind of like,
oh yeah,
then you get the next move. One way or the other.
Say less in the chat. He said I'm up 67% because of the Wolf Gang. Let's go. Yeah, Danger, we're gonna be doing this every week. I don't know exactly what days, but I mean, we'll let you know, of course. Stick around on Spaces.
This question. The video reports on the 28th, Mac. Sorry, this is our first stream together, so we'll get in the flow down a little bit here. We're just kind of winging it today, but we'll get, we want the chat to be active. What I really want us to do is like, see what the chat's trading, what the chat's thinking. So we'll get a lot more involved in the next. We'll start next week. How about that? Next week we'll start getting a lot more involved. I do have to jump. We are pulling back here a little bit, so I'm gonna get kind of my next trims hopefully here.
Sounds good.
Yeah, there we go. I was a little bit early to the short. I was short here, and it like flew up here on me, but we held through it with the overextension. But we'll see what happens here. I do have to jump because I'm gonna have stocks on spaces here in just a few minutes. So, Jordy, you have any last thoughts for the people today?
No, just a beautiful chat, beautiful day, brother. I appreciate you. And for the chat, just remember, if you're having a tough time trading, look at me. Everybody goes on tilt here and there. I know I talk about it all the time. I'm like, I'll never go on tilt, and I really don't ever do that. You guys know, but because I show all of it. But today was one of those days where I was a little antsy and we go in on tilt. But love to know that it's going to happen to everybody. And the biggest key is, the best you can do is not blow your accounts, right? If you can go on tilt and still manage to actually manage risk well, that's where I hate that I went on tilt today, because just for me, and that's not something I ever do, but when you go on tilt and you're only down $2,000 with multiple accounts that I copy traded together, that's really not bad, because I can make $2,000 on 1-2 trades potentially, right? So it was a little bit bigger than the losses I usually take. But even then, even going on tilt, it's still a manageable loss. So that's all that matters. And we'll bounce back strong. So that's, I guess, the one thing I would leave you with is just remember, no matter who you're following, everybody goes through tough times. I will always show it all. I know, not everybody has to necessarily show it all and everything, but I love sharing that with you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. And yeah,
it's helpful.
Watch the
very
bounce
helpful
back.
to show.
Yeah, because we all do it, man.
It's helpful to show. Well, look, if you go up 5-6 good trades in a row and one trade takes you back one step instead of 5 steps, that's the correct path to be on.
Yep.
Just like the market. And AI is making a good, stocks go up, stocks go down, take your emotions out of it. That's a fantastic way of putting it. Trading is the same way. Your P&L is going to go up and it's going to go down. Take the emotions out of it. Yep. Make it look like a staircase. Don't make it look like an elevator up, elevator down, or a staircase up, elevator down. We don't want that on your P&L. That's okay in the charts sometimes. You grind up and then you get a short that really takes off for you. But the P&L chart, make it a staircase. And every once in a while you'll step down a step or two. It's okay. You just keep going.
Yeah, you'll take the elevator down too many floors, and then you'll be like, oh, I got to get right back up there, and you'll be good. So
this is last comment I'm going to make, because I got to jump here. Missy went on tilt last week. It took 3 days to make it back. That is the absolute correct way. Big thumbs up to that. That is the correct way. The worst thing you can do is try to make a loss back in the same day or the next day. The worst thing you can do, especially if you go on tilt, you take a big loss. The human nature is to put your head down and grind. It's to work harder. It's to run faster. It's to, whatever, put more effort into it. And that is so detrimental to using your system, because instead of you'll size up, you'll change your risk tolerance, whatever it is, and you will make the wrong decision. You don't climb out of a hole by just taking one big shot at it to get back out of a hole. You have to work yourself back up, especially on a normal trading day. Let's use these numbers here. If you're making $200 a day on your day trades on average, and you get, you take $1,000 loss, well, normally you're only making $200-$300 a day. Don't try to make that $1,000 back in a day. Let it take 5 days. You'll get back there.
If you get given an opportunity and the risk to reward is there and you happen to make it back, cool. That's great. But you shouldn't be going into that looking for it. You should just be saying, hey, I need to work my way back and take it shot by shot, right? And step by step. You don't need to make it back in one trade, which is a beautiful thing. You just got to have that consistency. So, yeah, good stuff, man.
All right.
Great stuff. Wrap it up.
I gotta bounce.
Sounds good.
I'm out of here. Jordy, appreciate you. We'll be back same stream next week, of course. Midweek market update. Bears fell big time today. That's where we're at.
Bears are dead.
Fire ETFs. Go check out Fire ETFs. Jordy, I'm out. Appreciate you.
Sounds good.
Appreciate all the chat. Y'all take it easy.
Bye, y'all.